Hi, today we have Terrence Green. Thank you for coming in today, Terrence. You are running for a position on the board as a trustee. Appreciate you making the time today. I've got 5 questions, and the first question is around government operations. So, as a trustee, what is your role in Augusta Township as a trustee, and how will you work with other board members to serve your community?
My role as a trustee is to be able to communicate effectively with all the board members in a unifying capacity, in an effective way to determine what the problems are, how to define them, and how to come up with effective remedies. If a solution is quickly came up with, sometimes it is the wrong solution and can have negative consequences to all parties involved. And one of the key aspects is being able to listen to everybody's position and determine the most reasonable outcome that will be mutually beneficial to the township, putting aside personal feelings and emotions and doing what's best for the members of the community.
Awesome, thank you. This question is around interpersonal skills. What does effective communication mean to you, and how do you achieve it?
Well, effective communication involves listening thoroughly and being attentive to someone's needs. You cannot be effective listening to someone if you're really kind of haphazardly paying attention to them and not even listening to them. I've had that experience myself to where I have explained something in full detail, and then 5 minutes later, someone asks, well, what about this? And I'm like, well, didn't I just address that? But we will go back over it so you have a clear understanding. So, effective communications is when everybody is listening and everybody is comprehending what everybody is saying. There is just no me or I. It's usually should be us have reached a conclusion, not just, well, I think this is what we should do.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes that I think phrase is kind of like putting up a brick wall to other people.
Okay. This question focuses on leadership abilities. How do you approach conflicts or disagreements within the board, or when you're on the board, how would you approach those conflicts and disagreements if there are any? And can you provide an example of how you've handled such a situation in the past?
Okay. Well, as a former high school building trades instructor in a classroom with 24 students, conflicts arise between high school students. And I'm not the type to necessarily send someone out or write them up and document it like some of my peers used to do. I'm the type to where I would say, hey, Billy, this is not how we are going to talk to Jim. We are here to learn how to build things effectively, safely, and how to conduct ourselves on a workplace. Same thing applies with board members. We can't insult each other. We can't disrespect each other. We have to be able to listen to each other without becoming hostile and aggressive, because once that happens, the brick wall goes up and nobody is listening, and it's very difficult to get things done. So my position as a board member would be constantly trying to unify and open doors of communication instead of slamming doors of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you cannot talk to each other, you cannot get anything done.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. The last question, oh, no, I'm sorry. Management skills. How will you ensure that the diverse voices and concerns of township residents are represented in board decisions?
Well, that can be a complicated one because from some of the experiences and research that I have done about some things that have occurred in the township, it seems that some things were done without full approval of all the board members at the same time. And some of these decisions affected a lot of the residents. And now that problem is coming to the surface more. So I guess one of the things would be to address the issue and literally not kick the can down the road for the next person to deal with. Because the board members have a responsibility to the community, not themselves, not their friends, not their relatives, but the responsibility actually lies to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that this may have happened in the past based upon some things I have witnessed myself since I've lived here and went to some board meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I decided to run again. Even though I wasn't successful the first time, I decided to run again to see if I could be part of effective change.
Awesome. Here's the last question around township issues. How will you keep residents informed and engaged with the township's work, and what strategies will you use to gather community input on important issues?
Depending on how the systems are currently operating, because I'm not sure if there is, I know there is a township Facebook page. I do not know how many township residents participate in the Facebook page. There are many ways to reach out to people via mailings, via public events, via board meetings. Even the board meetings that I have attended, there hasn't been many residents there. I think last time I was at one, there was maybe 10 or 15, if that many. So it can be a difficult thing to get the word out to everyone, but in my opinion, at least I would do the best I could to try to get the word out and just not say, well, they didn't find it out on the township page. Well, too bad for them. But I would make it an effective effort to try to reach out to my community members.
Awesome. As I mentioned, I threw this in with the last interview, so I'm doing the same for everybody. Is there anything else? We still have some time left. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the community or want residents to know?
Yes. I would love to bring my 35 plus years of educational and business ownership experience to the township. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in Legal Studies from Eastern. I have been a licensed builder for 35 years, a licensed broker for 15 years, a deputy building official for London Township for the past 4 years, and a former high school building trades teacher. So my experiences are vast, dealing with multiple groups of people and different environments. So I understand planning, I understand zoning, I understand building, I understand the importance of reading legal documents and how to understand and interpret them. So these are the experiences that I can bring to the township and hopefully be more effective across the board with all my board members and supervisors.
All right. Thank you so much, Terrence. We appreciate you
No
coming
problem.
today.